stuff in our inventory. Swept, mopped, dusted, just basic preparation for the air. So as I told you, this was a house that was built in 1840, and it was passed through a family, and then it was sold to another family. And Mary Patton was the last owner of this house before she gave it to the city of Claremont to be used for the Historical Society. So the way our museum is set up is really nice because we have autonomy over the building, but the city owns it and gets to pay for the maintenance, which rocks. And if you come over here, you'll see Claremont has always been an impressive place, so much so that we've had merch throughout the years. So you'll see here, some of these pieces of fine china actually have landscapes from around town. Things like the Opera House, the Moody Building, the watering trough, which used to be on Main Street by Wade's Place, but is now in our yard. Then do you know, throughout the 18 and 1900s, what our primary industries were? How Claremont made its money, how Claremont made its mark? Well, we made it through textiles and through paper milling. So our main, do you guys know where the Common Man is right now?
Yes.
So where the Common Man is right now is where Monadnock Mills was. And Monadnock Mills made all of these blankets right here. They are woven from cotton thread.
That's so cool.
And so here are the site plans for that, as well as for Sullivan Manufacturing, which made mining equipment, including stuff that was used at the Panama Canal. And Sullivan Manufacturing actually made the lift to bring the atomic bomb into the plane that was dropped over Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
That's in the library.
And that's an image of Sullivan Manufacturing workers.
Nice.
Over here, you'll see some school history. My favorite. So, any of you guys like taking notes in class?
I used to.
Okay, you know what? I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that.
I'm like,
I'm a big notebook girly. So right here, you will see this is a notebook that was used by Cleora Rickard in 1894 for biology. So you can tell she was learning about mitosis because you can see the cells starting to split.
Yeah, you can.
So we've been learning the same stuff for centuries. That's why we teach it to you.
That's so cool.
Important basic knowledge. And you'll see these were some shoes that were worn for graduation. People were a little bit small back then.
Yeah, because they went cut as well.
We weren't as well fed.
Oh my gosh, look at
And
the
then over here we have a little look at Native history in Claremont. So the first road that went through Claremont was 12A. And that is actually, it's the old Indian path too. And so, do you guys know where the old Cupola house is when you're leaving Claremont? So,
Over by like Hunter's Acres.
yeah, do you know when you're on your way out of town trying to go to Lebanon? Yeah, so out over there in the 1960s, they did a dig and they actually found the bones of a native man. Well, people used to live and they used to die here before we were here, right? And so right here is actually a photo of that site.
Oh, that's cool. That's pretty cool.
And so our people first came here in the mid 1700s. Claremont was first incorporated in 1764. All right, follow me through to the next room.
Wait, which way is that?
Right around the
Yeah,
back.
we're gonna go over here into the tool room. And here's an old map of Claremont, one of my favorite.
Whoa. Get a nice video that has a little notice. Nice video.
So,
I'm putting this on my channel.
in addition to being fabric manufacturers, Claremont has a rich history of invention. The first indoor wooden cooking stove was invented right here in Claremont.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And here's a model of the Wilson stove.
So cool.
And you can
Is
see
that
all of
iron?
the tools people used to use before we have all the newfangled delights we have now. Right? We had ice picks because before you had a refrigerator and a freezer that spat out the ice for you, you had to go harvest your own ice and then cut it up yourself. It was a treat to have ice cream.
The fork.
Mm-hmm.
The fork is 3.
Let me see. What else? And if we go into this room right over here, I don't have a lot of room for people.
Oh, that's spooky room. Yeah,
It's a little spooky and watch out for the mannequins.
those things
They
scare
won't
me.
get you, but they're frightening.
Colonial
They
kitchen.
might get me.
Oh, they
So-
won't.
The highlight of this room, in my opinion, as someone who knits and weaves and crochets.
Oh, I crochet.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
We'll have to chat. Is this big, beautiful colonial loom. So before your clothes were all manufactured by someone halfway across the world, they would have been hand woven by someone in your community using local wool, local linen from the flax plant. And so you'll see here, you have different strands holding your warp threads, and you would have to program them different ways. And this is your shuttle, which would be loaded with your weft thread. You would throw it through, and it would take you forever to make cloth. All right, let's head on over to our next spot. And again, don't mind me.
Dude, this is just filming your
Stop filming my booty. Stop it. I don't consent.
Why was I meaning to? He was just
Okay.
I need a basket planer. Alright, Claremont has a rich history
My favorite room.
of service
My favorite room.
to the nation.
Yes, your favorite
All the
room.
way from the Revolutionary War on.
I'm filming.
So this year is the 250th anniversary
Woohoo!
of America's Revolution, starting in 1776. And yes, we did have some people who were loyalists to the cause, and they're important to note too, because we have to show both sides of the issue. But we had, we actually have around 60 Revolutionary War soldiers buried in the Union Cemetery and the Broad Street Cemetery. And our project this year is going to be cleaning and maintaining those headstones. We've
I have a
permission to
question
do
about that.
Yes, my dear.
How would you be able to volunteer for it?
Yes. Once we get dates, we'll share that out with you guys.
Okay, thank you. Because I want to volunteer.
Awesome. Yes. And so you'll see stuff here from. We don't have anything in here from the Revolutionary War, but we have stuff from the Civil War, World War I, the Spanish-American War, World War II, and then soon we'll be updating with things from the Vietnam conflict because it wasn't a war; it was not declared.
It was a conflict. Yeah, go so you don't film my booty.
That was by accident. You were just walking there. Gosh.
Come on in. So as you may know, New Hampshire has more trees than people. But for most of our history, we were not. That was not the case. Why did we need to cut down all the trees in New Hampshire?
To build.
To build a. Why else would we need wood? Fire. And then there's a third reason. Sheep. So, I forget the name. A Mr. Jarvis out of Wethersfield, Vermont, actually brought the first merino sheep from Portugal to America, a Scotney in that area. And from then on, 80 to 90% of New Hampshire and Vermont were clear cut to make pastures for the merino sheep, so that we could be self-sufficient and use our own fibers that we grew ourselves. We'll also see here some medical history.
Oh, my favorite.
Yes, these are some of the medical kits that were used by some of the doctors in town. Note the bone saw. Right? It's before we knew what germs were.
Lobotomies?
No, not lobotomies, just plain old amputations.
I feel you were going to ask about that. I sensed it. My favorite. I love lobotomies.
We have a bunch of taxidermy too, from the Jarvis collection and the Rossiter collection. Some of our taxidermy is stuff you're not going to find elsewhere. For example, here we have a golden eagle. You will not find many golden eagles taxidermized because they are illegal to hunt and kill now. Upstairs we have a passenger pigeon, which are now extinct. And this car right here, this was actually donated to us last year. So this was raced in, I want to say 1973 by Brian Webster, first on a hill from Charlestown down into Claremont, Dean Hill if you're familiar. And then it went on to the World Championship in Toledo, which is pretty cool. And this would have been driven by a 12-year-old. He was inside here, and it has no motor. It was just gravity powered. Imagine. Woof.
Terrifying.
This right here was a paint kit used by the famous painter Albert Bierstadt, who came and visited Claremont a couple times to paint the Jarvis Fields and the Upham Farm. And we also have in Claremont 2 of his butterflies that he painted. He would take a piece of paper, fold it in half on one side. He would put a bunch of colorful dots, fold it in half, whoop, butterfly.
That's so cool.
I know. Here we have an albino crow. Ooh, one of my favorites.
I do love those.
And then we'll head on upstairs.
Same.
Watch your step.
Can you clarify a question about some photos?
Yes, I can get some people.
Oh, no, I
Oh,
meant,
you want some from here? too?
if it's possible.
Yes.
Just one or two.
I
you
can
know,
find it.
I can have Kaylee send those to me and send to you.
Okay, yeah, maybe raking leaves or sweep, yeah, that kind of thing.
And I can send those to
You have my email,
yes. Are you heading out?
pretty much, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Take care.
Have a good day. Here is our library. There isn't much I can show you in here because there's so much.
I
Yes.
noticed something. A bunch of the like spines of the books look really interesting.
Yes.
Much different than our modern ones.
Yes. Well, and some of these books were printed and manufactured right here in Claremont because we had a bookbinding manufacturing plant.
Ooh.
These actually right here are wax cylinders. So these came before records. So what do you use records and CDs to do?
Play music.
Listen to music. So this is a wax cylinder that did the same thing. It basically had a program on it, and you would pull a needle along it, and it would play music.
That's so cool.
But they're made out of wax, so they can melt and distort really easily.
Oh, no.
Whereas records are made out of vinyl, and they still melt, but not as easily.
Yeah.
We also have a bunch of genealogical records up in here, school books, cookbooks, scrapbooks from local clubs, all
Excuse
sorts
me?
of goodies.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Who's that?
Oh my goodness, that right there is Constance Fenimore Woolson. Remember that stove I showed you downstairs?
Yep.
She's part of the Woolson family,
Ooh.
but she was an author. So she was born in Claremont. The house she lived in is now torn down, but it's over right off of Tremont Square. But she went on to write, I want to say, over 20 books. She isn't super famous, but her so-called boyfriend Henry James is a bit more famous than her. And yeah, so she never married, never had kids, and this was in the 1800s, and that was super uncommon. And she ended up traveling over to Italy, and that was where she passed away.
She definitely would have been labeled as a witch in
Yes.
Salem.
Follow me over to the colonial bedroom.
Oh no. I don't want to go in there.
I'm literally just eating candy.
So here we'll see all sorts of other artifacts of what life was like back then. Let's first go to the bed. I know two of you already know the answers to this. But my friends, what would this be used for?
Bathroom!
Yes.
Basically, you use that and then after that, you dump it out.
This is a chamber pot. So you guys have convenience. You have luxury. You have a toilet that flushes. For most of human history, that was just not what happened. So if you needed to use the restroom, rather than going out to the outhouse in the middle of the night, getting attacked by a bear or a rabid deer or whatever, you would pull this under you, do your business, and then pour it out, perhaps out the window, to an unsuspecting onlooker below.
Oh no.
That was very common before modern plumbing. Then right here, what do I have here? What would be the purpose of this? Oh, I know you two know. Anyone else might know what this would be used for in your bed? Yes, dear.
Which one?
Warming.
Yes, to keep you warm.
That was
So
very
So
dangerous.
you would fill this with hot coals. Fiery hot coals.
That was
It would
very
heat up
dangerous.
pretty quickly.
Stick it under the covers at your feet.
It would technically warm up pretty quickly because of the material it was made out of.
Right, so it's made out of metal, so it's going to diffuse that heat nicely. But what's another problem with having hot coals in your bed?
Fire.
Right. So a lot of people's homes burned down. Very sad. And then this garment right here is actually a wedding dress. Can you believe it?
I would wear that.
Yeah, so
Honestly, same.
wedding dresses are actually a very new thing. It's kind of a symbol of being able to afford a dress you can use
Good job,
once,
Lotus.
right? So back in the day, you would just make yourself a really nice dress, and you would keep wearing it after your wedding because people didn't have the luxury to buy something that they would use just once and then throw away.
Honestly, if I were to get married and have a wedding, I'd keep the wedding dress just for my kids.
I know, I'm hoping to
Otherwise.
I'll just dye mine pink and wear it to prom forever.
Exactly.
Perfect. All right. We have a bit more taxidermy out in the hallway, including, where is she? Our passenger pigeon. You'll never see one of those out on the street because they were hunted to extinction.
Oh man. Oh, yay, my favorite room.
The
From the children's room. It is a bit haunted and hallowed in here. The dolls seem soulless, do they not?
They do
But
not.
most of these dolls were made using local materials and
I
handmade.
don't like that picture.
So for example, I have a doll over here. Where's the one made out of spools? I think it's right back here. So this right here is a very clever use of your resources, right? You're a little girl, you want a doll, but you might not have porcelain. You'll put together a bunch of spools, some pom-poms for the hair and the hands and the feet, and boom, you got a doll.
I love
Easy.
that.
Yeah, this one's less creepy than some of the other ones. That one's creepy. I'll give her that one.
That one is too.
So yeah, if you guys have ideas for children's room that aren't creepy, let me know. All right,
I'm gonna make mine
we're
super
gonna go out
creepy.
this way and take a right into the Claremont room, and that's gonna conclude our tour. Yay! Tiny little desk. All right, so this room is chock-a-block full of things made in Claremont, including our education, right? Because it makes us who we are. So over here, you'll see itty bitty teeny tiny desks that were probably used in a one-room schoolhouse. Over here, we'll see photos of the various town halls we've had. We've had 3 town halls throughout our history. The first 2 were built out of wood. Guess what happened to them?
Burned down.
They burned down, I fear. And so the third time around, we got a little smarter and decided to build from brick. Aren't you so glad? And you'll see they weren't using Chromebooks, right? Nor were they using calculators. You had an abacus to count and keep track of your maths, and you had a chalkboard to write your main lesson on.
Sorry, I just
And here you will see, here's a full map of all the schools we used to have in Claremont. Before education was something that was informed by state or federal policy, it was something that was just up to the local people. And so it would be a neighborhood school. You and 4 other families, you would pool some money together and you would open a school. So we had 16 in town. But it wouldn't be school the way you guys think of it. Like, you wouldn't have math, science, social studies. You'd just have one big lesson, and it'd be kids from kindergarten all the way up to 8th grade. Because most kids, your education would end in 8th grade. And so you would work on what you want to work on. Here's some woven labels that were made right here. Actually, this is where the Common Man restaurant is in the woven label factory. Back here is another blanket made by Monadnock Mills. You'll notice that there's a symbol here that's not in vogue anymore, because a certain somebody in the 1940s decided to use it for evil instead of for good. And then over here, we have all sorts of things that were manufactured right here in Claremont. So Coy Paper Company, as I told you, Paper Mills was part of what we did. American Brush was right along Water Street as well. These boots were made right here in Claremont. So were these ball bearings, these horseshoes. And then do you guys know that building in Tremont Square that's kind of shaped like a triangle? So back when it was originally built, it was just 2 floors, not 3. And it was where the Bailey brothers made silver. Ooh. And so that was super early manufacturing, like late 1700s, early 1800s. And then here is my favorite thing I love to show people. As John and Aspen know, I teach geography, and I teach it with a passion. I love maps. This right here is the original first map of Claremont ever drawn.
That's so cool.
Yes. And you'll notice, what do you notice about the shape of it?
Square.
It's irregular because it's not on paper, my friends. It was drawn on the back of a sheepskin.
Oh.
Right? Well, you got to think about the first settlers of Claremont, right?
They didn't have paper.
They had to make do with what they had, just as we have to today, right? And so you'll see it's a bit faded because, again, this map was made in the 1750s.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Lotus.
What?
If you saw another one.
And then right here, this would be your diploma that you had finished grammar school, which is up to the 8th grade.
Say my name.
All
Say
right.
Blackhead.
Questions, comments, small personals about Claremont's local history?
That person looked like she was holding your arm.
We're good friends.
Yeah.
She gives me all sorts of advice.
Can I shake her hand?
You may shake her hand.
I don't want
Nice to meet
I
you.
say it might fall off.
I don't like the feel of it.
And then these are some uniforms that we had to dig out of that closet.
But
these are all servicemen uniforms.
That map is so cool.
Isn't it?
I love maps.
Sheepskin. Oh shoot! I'm gonna blur that one.
I say you would enjoy geography class, but we're not geography class got cut, so you guys are gonna take me for civics instead of geography.
Oh man.
Shuffling now.
That makes me so sad.
know.
I wanna. Can I do that? Oh.
That one's a bit fragile. But thank you for asking.
I'm a big history fan, so I love it.
We're gonna look at the
I like to
other
say I'm a
ones
history
back
buff because
there.
I feel like that means I'm getting really muscular off of my knowledge of history.
I am too.
Doing 1,000 reps of George Washington facts.
Oh yeah.
Can I get a video of the attic for my YouTube, please?
No,
Aww.
I appreciate your enthusiasm.
I don't.
But I like the attic.
I don't appreciate it because I'm the one who has to watch it.